So this ban list was almost perfect. Let's talk about it. What's going on, guys? Slim back here with a new video, and I want to say I processed the ban list, but I'm probably still processing it because it was a hell of a list. I don't think anyone was prepared for as many hits as we saw, as many changes. I can't remember the last time we had a ban list this big and this impactful. It's pretty crazy, but I've taken my time to analyze it, and I just wanted to break it down, my honest thoughts on it. First off, I think it was a great list. It definitely was a great list. Not perfect, but definitely a great list. There's a couple things that could have made it better, but that's pretty much the story with every ban list. But we will go into it section by section and just kind of talk about, what's going to happen now in this format, because now things have definitely changed. Houston is over. Shout out to Pascal for winning with Memento Goblin Biker Lady. That's just absolutely insane. And what's crazy is his deck was like ban list ready, because I think I saw the list. I think he was only playing one copy of Talent, so it's like he knew, which is like crazy. So yeah, but we will get into it, and hopefully you guys enjoy. Smash that like button, etc, etc. You guys know the gist. I'll go into the unlimited real quick. Honestly, the coolest thing about this is getting the dangers back. I just like the danger cards. That's it. There's nothing else here to really talk about. Cyberjar Unlimited does nothing. Even the dangers coming back, they're just extenders. It's not amazing. Like, yeah, you play them in Dark World, but I mean, Dark World at least got a little bit better. We'll talk about that too, kind of, if you don't get drolled. And then Ava, Monkey Board, none of that really matters. So gonna skip over that. Unlimited is usually that. It just brings stuff back, and it doesn't really make a huge impact. So the semi-limited usually is a super short section. Usually we're not talking about this forever, but this time they just... Basically, they probably watched all our predictions and talked about how we don't like the semi-limited, how we like that, and they literally just said, okay, we're going to make you care about the semi-limited section, because this semi-limited section is insane. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, like 12 changes, which is just crazy. So let's get the dragons out of here. Black Dragon Collapse Serpent and White Dragon Wild Buster. Awesome. You might be able to do some stuff with like Dragon Link or something like that with those. Love those cards. Played them in Danger Thunder. It was amazing. They might just see some play in like some kind of Dragon Link pile. Maybe with Fiendsmith stuff, who knows? We'll talk about Fiendsmith too. But anyways, that's cool just to see those back. Not a huge deal. Other things here, Morphing Jar. Could literally be a 3. I mean, you could try to play Empty Jar, but yeah, I mean, it's just not gonna do anything. So those hits don't really matter. But what really stands out, in these lists are like the other changes. The 2 Ash and the 2 Poplar. So now they're trying to give some of the Snake Eye stuff back. The thing is, without original, it's not as crazy as you think. I think some people, I think including myself, were like, oh crap, I don't want to see more than 1 Snake Eye Ash. I don't want to see more than 1 Poplar. But at the end of the day, the main stuff they were searching, the main stuff they were doing is pretty much not there. So I don't see it being a huge threat. I mean, that's just my honest thoughts. I don't think it's going to be too crazy. You might try them in some kind of pile deck. I feel like there's going to be a lot of pile decks. That's what I honestly feel like. There's going to be a lot of pile decks. But those changes just aren't huge. Like, those 4 changes are not crazy. Like, the 2 dragons, the Poplar, the Ash. Yeah, oh, and the Unchained Solar Survivor is just cool. Like, shout out to Unchained. Unchained's a fair deck. Like, that card can literally come to 3. Makes no difference. Like, that's just awesome to see it happen. So, I'm all for those. Those changes are fine. They don't make or break the game. What I think took us all back, though, because I saw my live reaction, everybody watched it, I'm like, yeah, I was shocked, like, how many cards actually got hit. How much they addressed Risal and Malice. So, we'll start with Malice. Malice went down from having their full deck. Now they're only got 2 copies of Dormouse, 2 copies of White Rabbit, and 2 copies of Malice and Underground. Now, basically, you won't have the 3 field spell. You'll still technically have the 3 field spell because you play 2 of those and a terraforming. So that doesn't change too much. That lowers like 1 less card in your deck. Some decks I think weren't even playing terraforming if I remember correctly. Some of them were choosing not to because obviously you play harder into Droll, even though Droll doesn't do too much against the deck. Like, why would you want to give your opponent something to Droll or something to Ash? So they weren't really playing that. And then losing a copy of Dormouse and White Rabbit basically just, again, it lowers your consistency. Dormouse being a lot of times your starter, that does hurt if that does get addressed and you don't have any other other way to push. You don't have another Bestial. That can be a problem. Having White Rabbit, having Dormouse at 1, I mean, those are just, you know, those were the hits. I'm still shocked. Like, I'm still shocked those were the hits that they decided to go with. I actually thought they weren't going to touch the Malice deck at all. I thought Risal might only get a slap on the wrist, but I'd never been so wrong in my life. But I don't think any of us predicted this. Like, majority of our predictions we got wrong just because it was like crazy. But I still think Malice are totally going to try to do stuff because there are still Bestials in the format, even though there's not as many. There's still Bestials. There's still ways to make the deck work. Plus, there's some other cards that came back that make it different. So I could still see people trying to work with Malice. Obviously, this is a pretty heavy hit because you guys will see in the Forbidden section, one of the main cards was hit that their end board was ending on. So that can be a problem, but I could still see players trying to find a way to make the deck work. You still have your lures, you still have your Gold Sark, you still have everything else, so I could definitely see some kind of Cyberse pile coming out of the woodwork. You might have to actually play Signet Mining again, so yeah, that's gonna be what ends up happening. But Risal is really what, damn, like, I honestly did not think all 3 names would get semi-limited. That lowered, I believe, Jesse said in his video, I believe it was you had originally 12 starters because you had 3 Bonfire along with the 9 names. That was 12 starters. Now you're down to 6 names, 1 Bonfire. So you went down like damn near like 50%, which is crazy. I think the total is, what is it? That's 7. I think the total is 7. Like, that is actually crazy. You can also throw in there, of course, you know, your 7th Tachyon, so that does help with the consistency of that. But overall, they definitely took a big hit in consistency. Plus, of course, when we get to the limited, hitting Detonator is crazy too. We'll talk about that though. But I think that there's still a way to play Risal, and it's literally because this list isn't perfect because they didn't address Fiendsmith at all. If anything, it got buffed because Shifter went to 1, Dweller got banned. Yeah, Fiendsmith is just, if you had a Fiendsmith core, you're sitting pretty. Reprint on Engraver is awesome, but yeah, wow, like, didn't do anything about it. I can definitely still see Fiendsmith Risal being a deck. I can see Risal Pure, I think, is not going to exist as it used to exist. You used to be able to rely on having all your starters. Now that you've lost so many, I feel like it's definitely not going to be what it was before, but I think it's going to be kind of just combining the engines again like they did. Like, the Fiendsmith Risal deck will probably be something we see. I don't know if we'll see, like, we could possibly see a version of Pure Risal. I don't know if it'd be like heavy hand trap. I don't even know if the board breakers would really be as good, but it could be something that we see going forward. So I still think there's going to be Risal. I still think there's going to be versions of Malice, and it just really kind of depends what the players decide to do. But I think both those decks are still going to see play. They're just obviously not as consistent as they were. There were several hits that, you know, lowered the overall consistency. And then the limited. So Druid Swarm, it had to go to 1. Like, honestly, that's not even crazy. Like, it needed to go to 1. Card is crazy. I really thought Magnemite was going to get hit. It didn't. So we have Magnemite, Druid Swarm. You still have your Baldrake. So you still have Bestial names if you need them. You still have Lebellion. So there's still ways to do a bunch of Bestial stuff if you're trying to do like Fiendsmith piles with them. So it's still crazy. Shifter going to 1 was much needed. Fantastic. I don't even know if you're even going to bother trying to play the 1-of. Maybe Malice will. I don't know. Just hope to draw it. It's crazy. But yeah, that card needed to go for a long time. So super happy for that. Masterpiece. Shout out James. Yeah, it's not going to do anything. Go to 3. Does nothing. Mathmech Circular. So this is a card that we've all played against Mathmech, whether in TCG, Master Duel. We know how ridiculous Mathmech Circular resolving, getting the damn trap, all that stuff is, but it really has fallen off in contention in just both formats. And I think, especially since, you know, it is a Cyberse card, so maybe we will see it in some kind of like hybrid. I feel like that's what some players were talking about, is maybe there's gonna be like a hybrid of like using Mathmech and Risal, and not Risal, and Malice. But I just don't know. I don't see it. I'm not a Cyberse player, so I have no clue. But people were excited for this. We'll see if it really does anything. I don't know if it's a huge change to the format. You know, time will tell. The one that really stands out though is Detonator. Did not expect that at all. Now here's the thing. Pure Risal plays 3. Fiendsmith Risal plays 2. Having 1 at first sounds like, oh my god, this is crazy, but is it really? Like, you have 1 Detonator. If it doesn't get dealt with, you've still got that Detonator. Eclipse Twins still exists, you can still get that Detonator back. If you're not banishing it with Metaltronus, if you're not even if you send it back with Slayer and you don't win that turn, like, literally they can just summon it again. So at first I thought, oh my god, this is crazy, the deck is super crippled. No, they still will have the 1 Detonator. They may play Protect the Detonator and it could be actually pretty good. I still think Risal, like I said, with no Fiendsmith hits, could definitely be, you know, still the deck of the format. So definitely something to keep an eye on. 1 Detonator, is still enough. Detonator is still a problem. It will still have multiple pops. You still got twins. It's like you still have multiple detonators. So without Eclipse twins being hit, you still have multiple detonators. So it's definitely going to be something to keep an eye on. The deck is definitely not dead. If people think any of these decks are dead, like, they're definitely wrong. Bonfire, we called this one a long time ago. It just lowers the consistency. Like I said, it lowers it from 12 to 7 with the, you know, if you add in 3 Tachyon, like, you're basically back up in numbers. So I mean, it's fine. But yeah, like, literally, this is what we predicted. Brilliant Fusion, trust me, I love Brilliant Fusion. I played it in Minerva, I played it in Thunder, I loved it in so many decks. It's just not it. It at 1, it's not worth playing the Garnet. It's just not. It's not worth playing the Garnet. It just isn't that crazy. So maybe when there's more copies of it, maybe there'll be something fun we can play with it. It'll be a lot more of a pile deck and be pretty crazy. But I'm just happy to see it. Like, that's definitely cool. Like, I'm all for that. Like, seeing Brilliant Fusion back is just awesome. And then these last two are pretty impactful. Designator to 1 and Talents to 1. So Designator 1 is something a lot of players have been calling for. It's one of the reasons why, you know, in this format it's been pretty crazy. Like, you're playing the cross-out battle against your opponent. Like, having cross-out on top of your board is crazy. Just crossing out their stuff, preventing them from playing is nuts. Being able to stop whatever tries to stop you is crazy too. So it going to 1, you have 1 called by, you have 1 Designator, and now you have 1 Talent. So that's pretty crazy. And then Talents. So Talents is a broken card. It does 3 broken effects. People have been calling this for a really long time, and now they finally did it. The one caveat, though, with all this is that you still have triple tactic thrusts. So theoretically, you still have 4 copies of your Talents if you're still going to play the full slot of cards. So you can still work with that. I think Thrust is an incredible card. I'm a huge fan of it. Talents to 1 is fine. Like, you're not going to open it as much, but if you do have Thrust, you can get easy access to it. So it's one of those cards that I feel may just become like those staple one-ofs, like Designator, Talents, Called By. Like, basically, those are the 3. Now they're all at 1. They're probably just going to become staples in every deck, because why not? Why would you not play Called By the Grave to stop opposing hand traps, stop opposing monster effects? Why would you not play Designator if you know that every deck is playing certain hand traps? And why would you not play Talents? Like, every deck, basically almost every deck plays into Talents unless you just open Imperm. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. I think those last 2 hits were pretty impactful. I think out of everything, those really were the impactful ones. Bonfire we knew was happening. Druid Swarm we had called for a long time ago, just thought Magnemite would have gone with it. And then Shifter, I mean, we just needed it to go. Like, we just needed it to go. So overall, the Limited, they did a pretty good job of the Limited. Like I said, this ban list was almost perfect. It was almost perfect. It was almost there. And then with the Forbidden, so Nightmare Griffin, again, back on the Malice train. So Malice ending on this, of course, was annoying. If you played against it, you know, just not being able to do anything against Nightmare Griffin sucked. They also inadvertently hit Dark World. If you know, you know. Shout out to all my Dark World players. We just can't catch a break ever. Yes, Shifter went to 1. Yes, Dweller got banned. Yes, Droll is still in the format. Shit. Now our Griffin end board is gone. Shit. Like, anyone who knows, who played Dark World like I did, like, you guys know we were ending on the we were running on Muttcracker Griffin. It was so good. And, well, there's other routes you can go, don't get me wrong. It's just never a good time to be a Dark World player, unfortunately, but we digress. We'll find a way somehow. But yeah, Griffin needed to go. Card was crazy. Card was just, you know, basically just said no. It was like a floodgate, so needed to get addressed. I'm glad they dealt with it. And the fact that they also hit Link Decoder was amazing too. Like, if you played against Malice, you know, like, it's just a free Link 1. It just gets everything started. Glad they hit this. Now Malice really has to go into like a different route. I don't know if that means they have to go Lingaribo or what they have to do their plays. I'm not a Malice player, so I'm not sure. But it'll be interesting to see what they come up with, because our hits are different than that and OCG. So it'll be interesting to see what the Malice players cook up. Plus, with all the other Cybers cards in the game, there can be a lot of things. Like I said, Cynic Mining for the consistency. Yeah, you'll lose Hearted Ash. Yeah, maybe you'll get semi-hit it by Droll, because Droll sucked ass against Malice anyway, so maybe it'll be semi-okay, especially if you're main decking it. So time will tell. Yeah, Dweller. We were talking about Dweller anyway. Yeah, it needed to go. Thank God, finally. Just needed to go. But problem is, the list was almost perfect, but they didn't hit Fiendsmith at all. And yeah, Dweller's gone. That basically just buffed Fiendsmith. Crazy. And then Bahamut Shark. I don't know how I missed this. Honestly, I feel stupid, being straight up honest. I called Toad. I should have just called this in my prediction. Like, I don't know why I didn't think of this. This is like super generic to make. This is what gets them their Toad. They weren't making Toad the Paleozoic way, so I don't know why I didn't think of this, but yeah, this was a good hit because this little inadvertently hit Toad in the deck. Mermail can still play, though. There's no Dweller, so they can still play, and they just don't take the Bahamut Shark route. They can still do crazy things. They can still do Barrier Statue Lock. They can still do some hand rips with Moline Glacia and with Mistral, so there are still plenty of things for it to do. I think Mermail is in a crazy position right now. Definitely don't sleep on that deck. We saw just what the deck can do, so definitely keep an eye on Mermail and then Fiendsmith. Like, to wrap up this video, the title said, this ban list was almost perfect. No ban list is ever perfect. It was so close. It was so close. They just chose not to hit the Fiendsmith cards, and that means anyone that has Fiendsmith, any deck that can play Fiendsmith, is going to be sitting pretty. The one monster that literally said your Fiendsmith cards don't work, there were two actually. Dweller, banned. You don't have to deal with it anymore. Shifter is a one-up, and only one deck was playing it. I think Fiendsmith is sitting pretty. Like, if you have a Fiendsmith pile, if you're playing like Fiend Link, like Fiendsmith Link, or you're playing like Bestial Fiendsmith, like, there's a lot of things you can do with that. And I think that was just, do I call it a mistake? I don't know if I want to use that word. I feel like it was going to be that way because Fiendsmith is an engine. They want to move the new product. And I think that by itself, Fiendsmith is just a lot of recursion. It's a lot of grind game. A lot of players like it. It was just what it was being combined with before that was crazy. I still think they'll be able to do it with Risal. I think that'll still be the way that they go. Like I said, I think it will take over the pure Risal deck because I feel like the Fiendsmith engine is just so much stronger, so much more consistent for what they're trying to accomplish. Having that protection with the one-of detonator is crazy, so definitely something I can see going forward. But overall, I'm content with the list. I think the list was really, really good. I give it a solid like 9.5 out of 10. It was so close. Like I said, I don't think there's a such thing as a perfect ban list. I don't think there ever will be because we're Yu-Gi-Oh players. We're never satisfied. But overall, I was happy with this. And I really think like going forward into the next couple events, it'll be really interesting to see what innovative way players are going to try to make the decks work. I really think that being able to still use Fiendsmith and pretty much everything is going to annoy a lot of people, but you know, it is what it is. We know, you know, we've known this for a while. Like, we still have our Bistials to deal with this stuff. We still have, you know, we still know what to expect from Risal Detonator. Even at 1, we still know what to expect. You could still do Bestial Malice, you can do Fiendsmith Malice, so there's still a lot of things that can be done, and I think the format is in, I mean, they took care of a lot. We can't be upset. Like I said, it's not perfect, but they handled a lot of things. They dealt with a lot of stuff that we needed, and I think that moving forward, I think we'll just see more, you know, crazy stuff come out of players. They'll come up with more innovative stuff. But overall, I'm content with it, and I just like to know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and let me know if you like these discussion videos. I'll keep doing them here and there. I just wanted to hop on this because I actually was really impressed by this list, and it wasn't what I expected, and I'm actually excited for the format. Last format, I was fine with it. This format, I'm even more fine with it. So, interesting to say. And oh, and shout out Blue Eyes. Blue Eyes is untouched. Blue Eyes is broken. Just remember, Blue Eyes is insane. Don't forget about Primate Blue Eyes. That deck is crazy. Several players are really been focusing on that deck, and I know why. It's really a good deck. Didn't get touched. Deck's gonna do good. Just saying. If you have your Blue Eyes card, your Primate cards, the reprint of Lordy Load, everything, like, you're sitting pretty. So definitely would be an interesting format. But I'm anxious to see what you guys say in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.